Hello, I'm Nicholas Caro. Today I'm here to reflect upon the most recent Devo Trust meeting, where is the first one where we actually went to Devo Trust rather than doing an IT boot camp at school with the students. So we went to the school, and that was interesting because we went. That was not the most interesting part. We talked over all of our different plans, made sure they were cemented in our heads. We had already had a plan before, so I was partnered up with Abdullah Fall, and we were going to go and teach third graders math skills because it was during the math section, so that was the only thing we teach. So we thought, okay, we don't really know what their level is. Them being third graders, they should know, they should be doing multiplication, division, maybe some addition, subtraction, depending on how old they were. It was actually kind of surprising, as when we went to test them, there was a very odd thing that happened. They were good at addition and multiplication, but they struggled on subtraction and division, which is very odd. How making numbers larger they were good at, but making numbers smaller they were not so good at. And actually, it took me a while to figure out how I was going to do it. I didn't quite know, and over time I realized, before we had an idea that didn't work out, that we were going to do tests and give candy as rewards. So I had a bunch of candy in my bag. So I went out and got that. And to teach them addition, which was something that they didn't know, and no, sorry, to teach them multiplication, which was one thing they were struggling on, I brought out the candies, and I had the idea of putting them in groups. So I put out, for example, 2 groups of 4, and then they would count the candies to see there were 8. And eventually they figured it out, and as they got good at it, I gave the kids who were stealing the light some candy, and then they would go away and they wouldn't be able to answer anymore. And we got it so it was balanced, so everybody got a piece of candy in the end, and there's no discrimination, and I think everybody learned something. There was, after the class, however, a bit of a scuffle, I guess. We were giving out school supplies, and the kids went insane. I was giving away pencils and erasers, and I was holding it out, and the kids were like pulling each other out of the way. There were kids who came from 4th grade to come and get some pencils, which I said they're distributing them out in their class, in your class, go to them. And people were going around in circles just to get more, and I felt like I tried to be balanced about this, but I'm afraid I wasn't, and some people got more than others. For example, there was one girl who right at the end showed me all the pencils she had gotten, and she got a lot more. And I asked her to distribute it. She didn't. It's okay. She got what she wanted, and I think everybody got something. The issue was there were very limited erasers. We had 6, and there were a lot of kids in the class, so we did math equations for those. But people were still sad when they couldn't get them. There were some personalities in the class. For example, there was one boy who their strategy was they would call out random numbers until they got the right answer. There are other ones who picked up fast, other ones picked up more slowly, but everybody learned something. I learned something, the students learned something, and it was a good joint experience. Yes, I think that was pretty much all that happened, but it was interesting because we had a plan, but because of different reasons, more kids than we expected. We had somebody else join our group, which we couldn't verse them on what they're supposed to do, and we had to start from scratch, and we got a pretty effective lesson going. The kids were good. They went a little insane towards the end when there was candy and gifts involved, but otherwise I feel like we were resourceful and everybody learned something.